Hello everybody, it is I, Earthknite, and welcome back to Nightingale. Today we are continuing on with the Nellie Bly section. We have gotten all the things, so we just need to talk to Nellie again.
I've got people that need my attention and a portal stabilizer that needs fixing. Be brief, will you?
I'm so glad she has a voice actor so I don't have to make up a voice for her. I've retrieved the Pellucidic etched ingot.
Pellucidia. You have it? I've never seen it myself. While I appreciate discretion, you should have approached waving a find like that in your hands. Pass the ingot here. Quickly now. I feel strangely chilled by looking at its surface. I can't fathom what it would be like to observe in its raw state. Tell me, did the Sun Giants put up a fight? How did you not end up squashed like a worm?
They're intelligent and open to trade.
You traded with one. I'm dumbstruck by the possibility. Perhaps after this is all said and done, I'll write an article about your exploits. Of all the resources we needed, this was the one I was least confident we could obtain. Yet here it is, our attunement conductor. We must, however, not get ahead of ourselves. There are still 2 missing resources we'll require if we have any chance of tinkering with that stabilizer. Oh, and this here is for you. From all of us. While altruism and exploration are the finest rewards for a Realmwalker, don't pretend you weren't expecting some other recompense. We're nearly there. The watch is within reach. The only question is, can we grasp it?
Only one way to find out.
I've got people that need my attention and a portal stabilizer that needs fixing. Be brief, will you?
I retrieved the Elder
The
Eotenheart.
Elder Jotunheart.
Jotun.
Don't yank this gal's chain. If you manage to come by such a rarity, don't make me beg to see it. Oh, my stars. You've taken the soles right off my shoes. Just look at it. Like staring into the eye of beauty herself. I must know the story of how you came to possess it.
They do just about anything for fresh meat.
I wouldn't have taken them to be carnivorous, but nothing is ever as it seems in the realms. The druids will have a heyday with this knowledge. If I've done my work here, this heart should slot right into the stabilizer where the radium firebox used to be. You've put a real dent in our mission, my friend. Only one more resource to go. Mayhap you harbor the Geo-Arcanist soul after all. Oh, before I forget, while out scavenging, one of the survivors found an old Red Cross cache. We thought you'd be able to make better use of it than us. No sense lingering any longer. There's a new optimism in the air, just waiting to be seized.
And seize it we shall.
I've got people that need my attention and a portal stabilizer that needs fixing. Be brief, will you?
I've retrieved the Automaton Charm Oil.
You've really done it then? The charm oil is in your pack? Hand it here, if you would, so I might keep it safe. Well, I'll be. This is a major step forward, I must say. I'm partly afraid to ask, but how did you manage to obtain it?
A civil, if bizarre, trade.
I wasn't sure it was possible given how oddly those automatons behave. What a marvel that must have been to see one up so close. Still, what matters most is that now we've got our combustion fluid. In fact, it's the final piece of our portaling puzzle. I can hardly believe it, but you've done mighty fine collecting all the resources. Mighty fine indeed. The survivors here wanted to thank you for the burden of responsibility you've taken on. They pitched in and pooled their goods. This is for you. A token of our gratitude. Let's not lose the path now. We must keep on, ever vigilant, ever steady.
Onward we go.
Indeed. You must be proud of yourself. You're a real doer in a desperate situation.
I trod the path that needed treading.
Spoken like a bygone Realmwalker. Keep that tongue service up, and you'll be the apple of Mr. Quatermain's eye. Not everyone could persevere in these Fae wilds as you have. Retrieving these fantastical resources proves your willingness to forge a better tomorrow. The way you went about this deed shows even greater courage. You chose diplomacy with these creatures. In doing so, you've delivered more than resources. You delivered hope. Not just to me, but to all these aimless souls cast aside in the defining struggle of our era. Let's not dally any longer, and have faith that this pile of rust will bring us to the watch. It'll take a moment to fit everything in place.
Why put your life on the line for all these strangers?
I can give you the moral answer, but that would be the obvious one. When it comes to survival, too many believe that they increase their odds by splitting from the group. Caring for one is simpler than caring for the many, but that's a one-way train ticket to Insanityville. Togetherness is another strategy, which coincides with my belief that a society is measured by its many downtrodden, not its prosperous few.
How can you be sure Quatermain waits for us?
I can't, but hope is not static. Rather, it is always aimed toward something. It is the North Star that guides our heart when all else fails, and mine tells me that Quatermain never misses his mark. And if you haven't noticed, the realms, our echoes, for all their sound and fury, have a way of bringing humans together.
How did you end up in the realms?
The same as anyone else, only the details differ.
As a writer, don't you relish in the details?
Aren't we a sly dog? If you insist on knowing, I had to leave Nightingale City a few months before the Pale for reasons that I can't indicate for my own safety. Back in New York, I convinced an editor at The World to allow me to attempt a trip around the Earth. However, my true intent was to uncover how far certain unprincipled magical practices had spread on the global scale. By then, there'd been rumblings about a portal disaster at the Paris Exposition Universelle, but what could I do from afar? So, I left New York on November 14th aboard the Augusta Victoria, the only ship allowed to leave the harbor that day. It wasn't long before multiple cloud banks encroached from all sides. Like horror incarnate. We had no choice but to correct course. The boat drifted into Nightingale Harbor a week later, with only a few crew and passengers left alive. Soon as I arrived, Quatermain, Victor, and I started plotting. The problem was that there were so many unknowns. No news had come from the realms, and no one who had fled to Nightingale through the realms had arrived. Quatermain had come across a realm in his travels that would make the perfect stronghold. Meanwhile, the Druids, Calcularia, and Hermetics were planning to close the portals. Before we could even question the sanity of our mission, we were stepping through the fourth transept. And on the other side, we found ourselves separated with little but our promise to meet again.
What do we do about those who want to stay in the realms?
Yes, some ignorant fools see these wilds as a fresh start, believe the loss of Earth is no loss at all. To them, I say the realms are for exploring, not living, despite what some of my colleagues believe.
You're able to fix it yourself?
I'll have you know I've patented several of my own inventions, and while my knowledge of these engines may not match dear Victor's, it's enough to get by in a pinch. Just a few moments more. The oil is heating. My God, does that stink. Like a fisherman's corpse. And the attunement conductor appears to be facilitating the flow. I can hardly believe this is happening, but the stabilizer should spark up momentarily.
One step closer to Nightingale.
Time, dedication, and a teaspoon of patience. The ingredients for all life's cakes. It's only right that you take the first step. If the danger has truly passed, the gate should recognize you're fit to enter. Just head straight down and you'll see the portal. On the other side, ensure you consult with Mr. Quatermain straight away. He'll want a word with an unsanctioned Realmwalker who helped reopen a stable connection.
You're not coming, are you?
Not just yet. My first concern is getting the others to safety, and there are countless souls still lost out there. They'll need someone to usher them onward.
Without you, this would have never been possible.
What's that they say? Many hands make light work? Or something to that effect. All I ask in return is that you tell Mr. Quatermain that I'm still bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Janna hasn't got me yet.
See you in the watch, I hope, sooner or later.
Yes, yes. No need to milk this parting for all it's worth. I already offered my overly sentimental thoughts. Your interrealmic chariot awaits, and that's one horse I wouldn't keep waiting.
So, we've discovered Scout's Boots, which is a new type of clothing. We got a Mystic Sling Bow. We've got Tier 5 Noble Bismaltus. Has high fire resistance and a good melee damage. Plus increases maximum stamina, so I'm probably going to create a new sword out of that, for sure. And maybe even a pickaxe. We also got another explorer's pack, but it is less than mine, to be honest. Yeah, way less than mine because I use legendary, so we could just extract that one. We still have two pellucidic etched ingots, which gives some good melee damage as well, so we could also use that on our new sword. And we still have some tier 4 Hope Bloom that we picked up last minute. And we have the Fabled Elder Eaton Wood. The things we could make with that! Ugh. And we also got a couple other bits and bobs scattered throughout here. Yeah. So, oh, actually, we should probably check this because yeah, prodigious environmental potion. Yeah. So all that's really left is jumping through. So this is a Red Cross gate, the thing Joan of Arc is trying to recreate, the Red Cross Knights. Now that the portal's stable, it'll let us walk through.
Hie thee, Realmwalker, into the depths.
There he is.
My eyes are on stalks. I admit, credence towards this ramshackled stabilizer wavered like wisps in sunlight. I won't dare set foot within the watch, but fret not. This isn't the last you'll see of Robin. I'll call when the time is nigh to fulfill your end of the bargain, as per our agreement. Don't you recall pledging your troth? You made a commitment by accepting my aid. A contract was made, sealed by ancient words. Each kindness given must beget an equal one in turn. I have given many. And what value can be placed upon one's own mortal coil? Doubtless a question we will answer in time.
If you recall back in the first episode when he says he'd help, I made mention of this is how a Fae tricks you into a contract. So I was already aware I was in contract with him, so I'm going to answer. Fate's decree binds me, whatsoever betide.
How's this? Your lips yearn to part through my glamour. Indeed, how thou hast grown. Oh, don't give me that face. Have I not ushered you well, friend? And I'll continue doing so when Byra thaws from her throne. If we shadows have offended, think but this, and all is mended. I need you in Nightingale as much as you long to be home. In return for my counseling, you will help me. Such were the terms of our contract. Know this, the path you walk leads to a place we both desire. Would that I could tell you this was a reverie, but you more than dream in our wilds. These are no mere visions that can disappear with a blink. As I am an honest puck, if we have an earned luck, now to scape the serpent's tongue, we will make amends ere long. Else the puck a liar call, so good night till winter's fall. Ready your hands if we be friends. In time, we shall both restore amends.
So that last little section, he was reciting basically the full agreement. We're not going to see each other till winter happens, at least for the most part. And when that comes, I'll pay him back and he'll get me to Nightingale. At least that's how I translated it. It's a bit iffy given how Fae operate in general. But yeah. Let's go! A visit the watch. That's right, they make you have to do third person when you come through that portal. Chesley Ainsworth. We we've had eyes on this portal for weeks. I have rather, and nothing. For weeks. My heart nearly sprang from my throat seeing it spark to life again. This is my station, appointed to me and me alone. Chesley is the name. Tell me, is it you responsible for the influx of souls here? I don't know how you did it, but Quatermain will certainly be impressed. Quatermain, just the man who I want to see. And he'll want to see you too, straight away. I will... Tell me, are there proper lavatories here? It's been a while. I will report to Quatermain then. Quatermain is in the explorer's chamber upstairs, planning, plotting, strategizing. The door is always open, but show him respect. Oh, oh God, forgive me. I did not see your pocket watch and guidebook before now. I've been wanting to earn mine for some time. There's nothing else quite like them, is there? 'Tis like gazing upon a ship's deck after a gale, when the puddles turn iridescent but for a brief spell. I would kiss them if I could. I shan't keep you longer. Don't deter your meeting with Quatermain. He demands punctuality, and mind his mutt. And welcome to the watch. Probably should have said that first. Many thanks. And now we have to talk to Alan Quatermain. So as you can see, this has the glass that we've been finding around at all the different places, the Ethereum or whatever. Thank you, Sophie. Oh! They have them here. Okay, so this is what I was talking about, where before you had to buy research. This is what I was talking about. And here they're using the tier 4 for the excellent upgrade bench. So the upgrade equipment. This is what we really need. And we need these two as well to upgrade, because that'll increase our ooh, and there's even minor cards. Ascended Realms. Yes. Yes. So we need that upgrade thing to get these past 100 at this point. Unless I use all tier 5 essences that you collect throughout everything, you'd have to. So he had the excellent upgrade bench. This doesn't seem to have any... Oh, prodigious health potions. Those you cannot make, at least yet. I haven't found a way to make them yet. They aren't on my tree. What do you have? Ooh, Scholars, Sentinels, and Sages gear. So this is all the tier 4 clothing. So yeah, for progression, you basically have all the way up through tier 3, but as soon as you want to get that tier 4, here's the Regency builds. And a Porter pistol. Oh my goodness. A lever action pistol. Greetings, my fine Geo-Arcane Initiate. Finding yourself with an excess of essence and needs of good services, I, Barnabas Dent, of the acclaimed Denton Daughters, am standing ever ready to acquiesce. You're part of the NTTC, I take it? Why, I most certainly am. They're endlessly supportive of the budding business person, you see. NTTC backing keeps goods coming for a decidedly reasonable share of the profit. Interesting. That's all for now. Do come again. The field of commerce is ever expanding after all. There was... I talked to this one. Yeah, that's where I started. We won't go down there yet. We're supposed to go upstairs. Oh, Peter Jones. That's the guy I was talking about. I saw him, but didn't talk to him. Peter Smith Jones. He looks like the guy from Pirates of the Caribbean. Ho there! I don't suppose you have a free moment to regale me of the goings-on out in the Fae Realms, newcomer? You're quite a bit fresher than most of this in this stuffy old tower, and I'd wager you've now a better understanding of the outside world than we. I have some stories to tell if it helps. Splendid! Of course, before we get ahead of ourselves, introductions are in order. Peter Smith Jones is the name, editor-in-chief of Nightingale's finest paper, the Sunday Courier. Where shall we start? I believe I met one of your columnists, Wilhelmina Sass. Wilhelmina's alive? Ah, but of course she is. That scamp could push back the Pale itself with a few pointed words and sheer force of will. Thank you for telling me, Realmwalker. I've heard my share of news since I arrived, but this is second to none. Warms my old heart, even if the rotten bugger's after my job. Ha! I'd shudder to think what she'd do with such influence. You and I both. Wilhelmina is a top-notch journalist, the best in my employ. But when she looks at the world, her view ends only a few feet beyond herself. With a few more years under her belt, she'll learn to see the whole of things and grasp the service our paper really provides. It might even soften that mean streak a touch. What were you hoping to ask me? Let's get right to it then. There's much I and the good people of the Watch wish to know. Tell me of your journey here. I walked the ancient ritual sites of the Red Cross Knights. Yes, just the sort of fantastical madness these explorers are always going on about. And did you meet anyone interesting along the way? I learned to trade with many of the realm's kin and creatures. Ha! Now there's no need to embellish with such fancies. I don't suppose you were witness to any human interactions of note? Clandestine meetings between, say, a giant and a household name? I can't say anyone I met was engaged in sort of thing. Now that is a shame. The Sunday Courier publishes news of certain style, and spinning these fantastical odysseys into the sort of story my readers expect. Well, perhaps I've not got the eye for it as I once did. You need the tenacity of youth to keep up with these changing times. I'd wager a man of my years ought to be lazing about by the sea, rod in hand, not a care in the world. I'm sure you're still a fine journalist. I see someone knows the value of staying on the good side of the rumor mill. Ha! It seems retirement will have to wait until the world is thoroughly finished ending. My apologies for any time wasted. Of course, if there's anything you'd like to ask me, the floor is yours. Excuse me. He's the boss of Wilhelmina. I don't know what that's... So those are Fae symbols, but it looks like a globe. I think it's supposed to be the different realms and how they're interacting and connecting. I don't know. Never actually had to deal with that. Ooh, Quartermaine's there. Then what's up here? This wasn't open before. Oh, yes it was. It was still under construction and didn't have near as many people. I remember now. He said beware the mud. I want to see the pupper. Pupper? Pupper? Not here, but there is a chest. Oh, I can't get in it. Alright, I'm going to end this episode here before we go into Alan Quatermain. So we managed to get to the Watch. We'll talk to Quatermain in the next episode. Hope you enjoyed. Toodles.